welcome to another episode of That's a Wrap, your favorite podcast, where we talk about all things film and television from an independent perspective. I'm Annette.
And I'm Naomi, and we are going to have a very candid discussion
Mm.
today about corporate America versus creative America and
Mm.
that transition from one to the other,
Oh, okay.
or attempted transition, or thinking about transition,
Yeah,
or wherever.
I mean, because we've had those journeys,
Oh, yes.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've had my journey, and I know that
I'm on my journey.
she's on her journey. So it's
Yeah.
just interesting, and everybody, there's no way is correct or
Yeah.
incorrect. We're at,
Yeah.
we just want to preface this by saying we're just having this conversation
Conversation.
about what worked for us, for me, and then where she is and how she's navigating in her own journey.
Yeah. So it's going to be an awesome discussion. But first, who be talking?
We be talking.
Who be talking?
We be talking.
And who we be talking about today?
Denzel.
Denzel.
Denzel Washington. Mr.
Ugh.
Washington.
Yes, he is a Mr.
Yeah.
Sir.
Oh my gosh. Like
Mm.
incredible. And I don't know, I was just like thinking about like his illustrious career
Mhm.
on film and then the theater.
And don't forget television, because he
Oh,
started
yup.
off in St. Elsewhere,
It's Sane Elsewhere,
which I never watched.
Oh my gosh. I think that we were too young.
No, it was on. It was
Really?
early 80s, I believe.
Oh.
Yeah, it was
Mm.
there. I was a wee child,
That's what I'm saying. Like
and I was not into hospital dramas.
dramas. That's
That
what
was
I'm
too
saying. We were too
serious.
young. Yeah. We needed like Full House and
No.
Growing Pains,
Facts of Life,
Facts of
Different
Life.
Strokes.
Yeah.
Come on. But
So
yeah.
so when I knew that we were gonna just be like talking about this man, I was thinking about Chadwick Boseman and R.I.P. King.
Yes.
And his statement, there is no Black Panther without Denzel. So not only is it film theater, it's philanthropy.
Yes.
It's mentoring.
Yes.
Like he's giving back as
Yeah.
much as he has gotten, which
Yeah.
I think is an amazing.
And I know
quality.
he grew up in the Boys and Girls Club.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that really solidified that, and his family and his upbringing in faith.
Right.
It really gave him such a strong foundation to go out into this world as a Black man and an actor.
Yeah.
And to make his mark. And
especially with the name in the 80s, Denzel. Come on.
It's such a powerful name.
It really is.
But yeah, this man's career has just, when I think of Denzel, I go back to Malcolm X, because I believe Malcolm X,
number one,
Malcolm X was the first movie, went to the theater, sat and just absorbed this man playing a historical figure. He embodied.
No, I was sitting next to you.
I know.
Yeah.
He embodied Malcolm X for our generation who did not know him.
Right.
We didn't exist at that time.
But let's just.
But we read.
Yeah, but
we read.
Let's stay on like that, because remember when he got picked, when he was chosen to do to play Malcolm X, there was backlash, right? Because Malcolm X, they used to call him, he was Redbone, right?
Yeah.
So here's brown skinned Denzel, and I didn't know, because the autobiography of Malcolm X literally changed my life and my foundation.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how I was going to be receiving it. Was I going to see Malcolm X on screen, or was I going to see
Denzel playing Malcolm X? Yeah.
Let me tell you something. In the beginning, you had about 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
That was Denzel. And then that was all. That was Malcolm X.
It was literally as if the spirit of Malcolm X stepped into this man.
Yes.
And we were
and
literally
had its
seeing,
way.
and we were seeing him play out his life.
Yeah.
So that did it for me. I was just like, this man is beyond just an actor.
Mm-hmm.
He is an actor.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. There's endless things we could say about Denzel, but for me, I am loving that he is going to be in Black Panther 3, because that's just the full circle of that whole story.
Right.
With that connection with him and Chadwick is beyond words.
Wakanda forever.
Always. And Gladiator 2.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Ciao.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit
so
and yeah.
And also that he's having his moment, and
Yeah.
he should have had those moments. I really believe that his first Oscar should have been for Glory, and not Best Supporting.
Well,
and I'm not going to say anything else.
Yes.
But he did get it for Training Day. I'm not going to say anything else about that.
Yeah.
But I just think that he is one of our crown princes within the Black culture.
Oh yeah.
And that the ups and downs, because when you hold someone in reverence doesn't
Mm-hmm.
mean that they're perfect,
Mm-hmm.
right? But just seeing how
Mm-hmm.
he just persevered,
Mm-hmm.
and whatever he went through it.
Yeah.
And this is him on the other end.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to that I say kudos. And
Yeah.
so my top, I'm just gonna give you my top.
Oh, Lord.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Okay.
5.
Really, all the way to 5?
Yeah. Malcolm X, Glory, Book of Enoch. Oh my gosh. The Roman J. Israel Esquire, when he was like the fat lawyer dude.
Yeah.
And Training Day. Only because Training Day scared the crap out of me. I couldn't believe Denzel could be that mean.
Okay. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Okay. All right. So we're going to take a break. And when we come back, it's corporate versus creative.
Yeah.
So living that double life.
Mm-hmm.
See you in a bit.
And we're back. All right. So this is a topic near and dear to both of our hearts.
Yeah.
Because we both are in different parts of this topic. So corporate America versus creative America, a terminology I never even put together before until I heard it on the Ageless, that podcast that you had talked to me about, and it was the COO and EP of 1820 Productions, and she was talking about
just a minute. I'm keep talking.
Okay.
I just wanted to bring up her name
and
again.
she was talking about it's like Sarah Marsden something, but she was talking about corporate America versus creative America and making that transition. So she was able to make that transition, and right now I have been in corporate America most of my career, working life, but definitely for the past 17 years I've been at one corporation. And knowing that I need to make that full-time transition is really hard, because just like she mentioned, you get into this, I think she called it the golden something. It was like it wasn't a golden parachute. It was more like the golden chain or something like that, because, well, the golden parachute is when you get like $50 million for leaving the company. Like, it's ridiculous. But it was like the golden chain or a golden something, but it perfectly described what it's like to be in corporate America, knowing that you need to leave it, but then chains they got on you.
Yeah, because you got it's benefits, and then it's
the cushion.
It's the money. That the money's always going to be there. Yeah,
it's the perceived safety.
Right.
Of being in corporate. So I am still in corporate, and it has taken me a while to wrap my head around leaving those comforts for going into being an entrepreneur full time.
Right.
And it's terrifying. Right? There's a lot of fear in it. false evidence
appearing real.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's where I am, so I know I'm getting there. But yeah, it is hard, like many things in life. And that's how I'm starting to finally see it as, right? It's not kind of stepping away from the discomfort, right? Like I am acknowledging the discomfort. I am acknowledging that it may feel like I am taking 500,000 steps back to make this one giant leap forward.
Well, but that's the pivot.
Yeah.
And sometimes a pivot looks to the naked eye like you're moving back, but it's really not. It's setting you up.
Yeah.
So
yeah, so you and I attended a networking event the other night, and what?
I just wanted, because you were talking about it, and I didn't want to get too far down.
Okay, go ahead.
Her name is Dr. Cheryl Palat Williamson, and her podcast is Ageless, Fearless, and Unscripted.
Right. And the guest.
I don't know the guest name, but that's the podcast. And I think that anybody who is transitioning or newly in this space of entrepreneurship, that's definitely a podcast that you want to listen to.
Okay.
Because even though I've been in this entrepreneur space since 2016, I still feel everything that you're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't go away.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to know when it hits and it starts getting raw, what you need to do. Like, remember the other day, it was just like, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't talk to anybody because I was in a space of discomfort, and I needed my tools. And my tools are not just meditation and prayer and exercise. It's also listening to these women, listening to other people in these spaces that have gone through everything.
Right.
Because it is a decision, and it's a hard decision, but it's a decision that I knew I needed to make. Right.
Yeah.
And like, Steve Harvey says, it's the big jump, right? You're going to jump and you're going to fall. It's going to feel like you're falling, and it's going to hurt, and things are going to be uncomfortable, and you're going to get nicked, and you're going to get whatever. But then also, right before you hit the ground, you're going to start going up. So it's just those things that, even in that podcast with that woman, she said, this space is not for the faint of heart, because it's not easy.
Right.
Because you're constantly worrying about what is my next gig?
Right.
But for me, I know that God is my supply, point blank. So I know, I'm not sure the time frame, but I know that I'm going to get my next job. What does that look like? Right. And being in that means that you're constantly moving, and you're constantly using this to create your next job, your next opportunity, your next move.
Yeah. And being an entrepreneur, it's like it's not for the faint of heart. It is, in my mind, for a very long time, I really fought against it, because I'm just like, I like the safety of having a steady paycheck, having a steady, right? And I didn't think that making the leap fully, it felt like I would, it in my mind, and it's several of the things you talked about, but in my mind, it is, you don't have that safety net, and so you're just going to, like, leave it all. Like, these are, it's these kinds of conversations I am having with myself, and talking with people, to me, the best thing I can do for myself is talk to people who have done it, because people in corporate will tell you, girl, don't do it.
Oh no, I know.
Right?
I know.
Don't do it. Like you've got all of these things, right? And my mentor and I even had the discussion, and she gave me the practical end of it, right? She knows that I want to follow a creative career, and I really want to make that my full-time thing. And but she also like she was really trying to be practical about it. She's like, Naomi, if you stay for the next 16 months, and then leave, there are all these benefits and da da da. And I'm like, and I hear her, and the more I kind of sat with that, with what she had said, I was like, yes, it does make sense, right? It makes sense to stay. It makes sense to build on that foundation for as long as I can before I make my leap, right? But I'm sitting in our networking event with the sisters that we just had, and I'm sitting there with women who have made that leap, and they kept it 100 and said it is scary. You may not have the money.
It's isolating, right? At times.
It's isolating at times. It is fighting against yourself a lot of the time.
That's 100% of the time. Like, what are you talking about? It's 100% of the time.
Yeah.
But what I'm going to say is, it's the very question when I was going through cancer treatment, and after I would get chemo and I couldn't move, and this voice asked me, are you happy? First of all, I didn't answer the first time because I thought it was the drugs. I thought it was, Then the second week, it asked me again. And then the third time, it asked me, and I said no. And as soon as I said no, I knew why. Because I was not living the life that I had always wanted to live. And then I didn't know what that entailed, didn't know how I was going to do it. But you and I have been writing together since we were like 16.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is what we've
always
wanted to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Life happens, right? And then I took another avenue to leave corporate. So here I am in this entrepreneurial space, and then I get so bogged down with it that I kind of forget why I left, corporate.
Right.
And then this opportunity of a show, Today's Talk 65, came up. And it was like, remember
you
remember
said,
why you took this route.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, now I need to do this. And how there are times that it's very lean, right? It's very lean. But if I was on my deathbed right now, and that voice asked me, am I happy? I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt. And it's not because I'm doing this or that. It's because I have said, I get to do it. Yeah. And I am continuously moving in that manner. Even though there are times I would have to go bartend or, wait tables or cater or something like that, or work as strategic planner for but those are pivots.
Yeah.
And those pivots are going to happen.
Yeah.
But I am open. And I think that is another thing, because you're not looking at it as if you're not getting anything. You're getting the world. It's just, it looks a little bit different. It's those golden chains.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? It's those golden chains where you think that that is it.
But that's the thing. It's not even, I know that that isn't it.
No,
right?
but it's your
Right.
your subconscious, right?
Yes, yeah. It's going back, it's that constant internal battle.
Yeah.
And really choosing what what to hear, what to listen to, right? And being in that room with those women really solidified for me that, okay, a goal has been set. Now it's taking the time to plan my removal from corporate, right? So for me now, it's the work is do whatever I need to do so that when I cut the ties, that I can at least, in for me, for Naomi, set myself up in a way where I can go, okay, I'm ready to go, right? There are many people who can just cut those ties like tomorrow, and just like I'm just going
Child,
to I'm
when
going to
I
just
jumped,
wing it.
man, I jumped. I jumped because I could not breathe.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
like not another day. But that's the difference
Yes.
between, like, you and I are so similar
and also very different.
So different.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I'm just like, pull that Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
Let me just deal with whatever on the other side. I
Right.
can't take it anymore.
Yeah.
But you're gonna realize that everything that you learned in
Yes.
corporate, there might be times where you
Those
are
transferable skills, as we like to say.
those are soft skills. Yeah. But then
Yeah.
also you might pivot and be a consultant for a little bit,
Yeah.
you know?
But who knows? The thing is, making that decision has already given me a sense of freedom, a sense of like, okay, now I am setting my own path.
Right.
It feels like I am, not that working in corporate didn't, but it's already feeling different for me, because I know that this is what I want.
Yeah.
And I know that I may, even if I have to sacrifice the dollars in the beginning, in the beginning, it's all because that's the path. Like, I don't know the path, but I'm being guided on the path, right? So it's just being open enough to accept that. So it's.
Let me just ask you one question. I know, just give us a little bit more time on this, because this is just, I think that this is a really important chat that we're having, right? For you, is it just making the decision that's going to keep you going forward, or is it telling as many people around you?
No, for me, it's
to help you keep moving forward.
No, it's my biggest thing for me has always been stability. I prefer solid ground, right? So I know taking this leap, it's going to be shaky.
Oh, there's no ground,
right? There's no ground, right? Just take the leap, and you'll be carried. You won't hit the bottom. You'll be carried, but it's going to feel like you are. So for me, it's kind of getting as many of my ducks in a row to give me just mentally a sense of stability, right? Because this is huge for me. Yeah. It's literally me tapping into 20-something Naomi, because 20-something Naomi was just like, bunk this. Like, she was hopping all over the place. Like, so what you gonna pay me, like $5 an hour? All right, I'll try it out. But Naomi was very lost at the same time.
I was going to say, like, this.
So this is, it's that.
But you're that spirit.
That spirit, is what I want to kind of reconnect with. That spirit of, like, you don't know what this will bring, but give it a shot.
Yeah,
give it a shot, but this is deeper than just giving it a shot, because this is what I've always wanted. So I know that I am going to be much more open to allowing myself to experience all that comes and not be afraid to experience.
Yeah.
Not be afraid of what I may be feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a network of people who are doing what I'm doing.
Right.
So I can go, and there are people that I can talk to. You know what I mean? There are people that I can
and that you can cry with.
Yes.
And I mean, because that's so. I am all for everyone just for new chapters. Start the chapter.
Yeah.
The chapter might be 1 page, or it could be 15 pages, or it could be 30. It doesn't matter. Try it out.
Just start.
Just start.
Yeah. Like, that is the biggest hurdle.
That is the biggest hurdle.
Yeah.
For you, though, I know you. It's making that decision.
Yeah.
Once you make that decision, now you're in this battle.
Yes.
Against everything that you were like taught or perceived feelings, right?
It feel to keep it 100. It feels different now that I know I've made my decision. Like, it feels, there is a lightness to it. So now the planner comes into play, and it's just like, plan what you can,
right,
to give you a sense of some sense of stability, because you know you're going to be going down this road, and it's not going to be stable at first, right? And maybe a few years even, but at least it's kind of like playing mind tricks.
No, I know. Yeah. I know. Because I remember I met with one of my business mentors. She told me, I think it was like in June, I was trying to sell her some Rodan and Fields, but then she brought me. That was the time. Yeah. And then she brought me in. Time. But, you know, even with Rodan and Fields, it taught me so much about like self-improvement. It really did lay the foundation, even though it's MLM, you know, we got out. But I still learned so many things from there.
Yeah.
I put in my insurance business, and then also here, here, in Girl Code Media. But it's when I met her in June, and literally, I think by September, I put my 2 weeks in at ABIM. I was
you naming names,
right? Oh. I put it in corporate, and 2 weeks after that, I was done.
Yeah.
That was all she wrote. And that first, and you know, my young king can tell you, that first year, it was not good. It was hard. But I learned so much. I remember my gas tank was almost on E. I was driving a friend to the airport because he needed a ride. And he asked me, he said, so how do you feel? You know? I was just like, and for some reason it took me by surprise. And I was like, oh my God, like literally on probably like my last $2,000 trying to figure out how I'm gonna make it for me and my kid, and then this business, right? Because the first couple of years it doesn't really grow.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't explain it, but there's a joy. I know things and a freedom. Yeah. And I was just like, things around me are on fire, but inside, there's this joy. I had no shadow of a doubt. I knew that my decision was the right one.
Yeah.
And as hard as it has been, and as many times as I probably cried, I do not regret it. Because I've learned so much about myself. I learned so much about my faith, about what being a friend is, and also a business, right? And this is ongoing.
Right.
And anybody that's thinking about transitioning, whatever, self-improvement is ongoing because it has to be, because you will just go into the corner and cry yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to find those other things that are that make you happy.
Yeah.
And that you grow from. So
bottom line is pursue what your happiness is, whatever that is. Pursue it.
I think that's it.
Pursue
and everybody has to make their own decision.
Yeah.
So, we definitely went
way past
beyond,
time, but
and our producer is not happy. But so stick with us. We're going to take a quick break.
Yep, and
we'll be back in a few.
Yep.
Hey, welcome back. Thanks for sticking around. Nay, that was a great discussion.
That was
on corporate versus creative, and what it's like for us. We're in different journeys of this. So, like we were saying, it's your chapter.
Yep.
Right?
Conquer your fear.
Yeah.
And just do it.
Yeah. You can always go back, or you can always start another chapter, right? I don't like saying go back. You can always pivot and do whatever.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
I think we're done. Just remember to like and subscribe. Yes, hit us up in the comments. We'd love to hear your stories of corporate versus creative, and your journeys. So please feel free to share that with us and follow us on our socials.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Awesome. All right. Well,
that's a wrap.
See you next time. Bye-bye.